Welcome back to the So Funny YouTube channel. My name is Maxine and today I thought I'd take you along on making my little girl's birthday dress. Her only request really was that it was rainbow fabric. She's very into rainbow everything at the moment. So I immediately thought of this small rainbow gingham fabric from the Crafty Pie. It's such beautiful sort of rainbow colours. I think it'll look great on her. So I ordered this from So Confident in Glasgow and they happen to have a couple of metres less, so I just nabbed it. It's beautiful, sort of viscose, so it's quite drapey, so I'm hoping she'll enjoy like twirling around in it. And then for the pattern, it's Simplicity pattern. It's the 8563 and we're going for option F, so it's basically just it's really simple sort of sleeveless dress with a little bodice and a sort of tiered skirt. It's Sunday afternoon, husband's playing golf, the kids are away with their grandparents, so time for me to crack on and get this dress made. So thankfully, because I've made this dress before, I already have all the pattern pieces traced and cut out for age 4, so win for that. Just a little like top tip, so when I'm using these kind of paper patterns that you just buy like this, rather than cutting into the main pattern and sort of only getting one use out of it, I trace it off. I just have like a big giant roll of tracing paper that I bought on Amazon years ago, and it's still going strong. It kind of feels like baking paper, like the texture of it, so it's quite hardy. Like I say, I've used this before and it's not like torn or anything, so, and because it's sort of see-through, it's quite easy to trace off. So yeah, I also, because I've made this in quite a few sizes, I have traced them all off in different colour pens so that when I'm like going through my big envelope of patterns pieces, I've got all the different colours and different sizes. So yeah, just a little top tip. Means you get your money's worth out your paper pattern and you're not sort of cutting it out once and then that's you. Particularly with children's patterns, if you want to keep making the same garment like as they get bigger. It's a bit of a faff, like with the extra tracing and stuff, but totally worth it in my opinion. So if you ever want to get as much as possible out of your fabric, when it says cut on the fold, you don't need to necessarily cut it like fold it perfectly in half, because you might only have quite a narrow piece that needs cut on the fold and then you just kind of wasted all this fabric over here. So I tend to fold it over as much as it needs to be for that particular pattern piece. This is definitely a very swishy viscose, so I will definitely be using lots of pattern weights and pins because this kind of stuff can be really tricky to work with sometimes and kind of gets away from you. So I would recommend just use as many pins as you want, and I could probably be folding that a little bit less. Another thing I did with this ruffle piece, it says cut 2 on the fold. Now the idea is you'd sort of pin 1 down, cut round it, take the pattern piece off, put it on another bit of fabric and cut round it again. But quite often I'm just on a bit of a mission when I'm cutting out, I forget to cut the second one. So what I did is I just traced off another one so that I don't forget to cut the second one, because I will cut out every bit of paper that I have. I might not remember to go back and cut out more of the pattern pieces I have. So anyway, let's get cracking, because otherwise the kids will be back and I won't have made a dress. So let's go. Okay. Do you know, I get really nervous before they make that first cut. One little ruffle, 2 little ruffles. Oh, just look how swishy that fabric is. How cute! So as I was saying earlier about trying to like save fabric, because I didn't fold it right to the edge, I now have like this width of fabric from where I like cut out the ruffles. So I'm hoping that might actually be just wide enough to do the skirt back. Oh, it fits! Ah! love it when a plan comes together. I just need to remember I cut out 2 of them because normally I would do this where it was folded, kind of folded. If you had a fabric with a directional print, you probably couldn't do this, but I'm going rogue. And seeing as I've just got a check, I think it should be fine. There's definitely a lot of sewing that's like, you know, you should do this, should do that, etc. But you know, in certain rules that if you do sort of break them, could turn out quite badly. But there's also things that you just start to learn you can be a bit more flexible with. So layouts and fabric, sort of fabric lay plans, so where you put your pattern pieces is one of them. You just need to make sure you don't accidentally cut something out upside down if you've got, like I say, a directional print or something on it. But after all that chat at the beginning about using as many pins and weights as you can, I just realised I've cut all this out without pins. Honestly, when I used to watch people cut out with just like weights on their fabric and not like actually pinning the pattern pieces on, like especially with scissors, I thought, how can you do that? It's going to like move everywhere. But actually, it's a bit of confidence. It's quite straightforward and it saves a bit of time pinning all the pieces in. So let's just go for it. Be bold. Stay stitch the necklines, and then I think the next step is to attach the shoulder seams. Let's check the instructions. Whew, that was a close one. Be more careful with your overlocker, peeps, because I nearly chewed the shoulder seam into the side seam, but thankfully it's just nicked the edge of it and I haven't actually lost any fabric, because that would have been heartbreaking. So for this next bit, I made a little purchase from Fabric Shop. I absolutely love having a local fabric shop that I can just nip in and out of because, well, one, they do like really great fabrics and yarn and things like that, but they also just have all the haberdashery and all the last minute bits and bobs that you need. So I nipped into Fabric and Finery yesterday and picked up, what is it that we needed for the back of the dress, and also some bias tape to finish off the armholes and neckbands, because I could have made it but I couldn't be bothered. So I just went with some plain white bias tape because you'll not actually see it on this dress, it's actually on the inside. So yeah, but just a wee moment of appreciation for our local fabric shops, and if you've got one near you, go and support it. Good morning. So it's the morning after, the night before. I just sort of like hit a wall last night and felt really tired, and I've learned over the years that it's best to just walk away from the sewing machine at that point, because I've had too many nights where I've like pushed through when I've been super exhausted and just spent more time unpicking than actually sewing. So I felt the sort of tiredness hit me and I thought, right, let's just call it quits. I don't want to mess this up. So yeah, it's now Monday morning, summer, school holidays, the kids are upstairs playing. It's been really lovely, like as my youngest has got a bit bigger, They're sort of 4 and 7 now, and they just play so nice together. It's so sweet just to hear their little games and little pretend things that they're up to. So they're quite happily playing. My husband's at work, so I'll just thought I'll sneak in here and see what I can get done. Sometimes it can be really hard to like fit sewing in and around life, and particularly when the kids were like super young, but I'm quite grateful now that they are that little bit older and can sort of amuse themselves for sort of short doses. So yeah, it gives me more sewing time. So where did I leave you yesterday? So yesterday we got the little bodice made up, and then we have the sort of main skirt, front and back, and the ruffle. It's mad to think that all this will eventually fit into that bodice, but it's the power of gathering. So sorry, this will go into the main skirt and then the skirt will go into the bodice, but you know what I mean. So the instructions tell you to start gathering now, sort of fully assemble the dress, and usually you would wait to and hem it at the end, but I actually find it's easier to hem it when the fabric's like completely flat. It just makes things a bit neater. So I'm just going to go ahead and hem it just now. I think normally the reason you would wait and hem it at the end was if you wanted to like check the length and then make any adjustments, but I feel like I've made this before. I sort of know Rosie's size, like I'm not going to really want to change the length of it, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and hem it just now. So there's been a fallout with the kids and they no longer want to play together, which is fine. So I am going to go and play with my youngest, see what she wants to do, and I'll come back and visit this when I can. This is the reality of trying to fit sewing in and around kids. So if you are in the same boat, then you get it. But I still think it's worth trying to get the little bits while you can, because otherwise, if you wait for these like long uninterrupted stretches of time, then you just never get any sewing done. And I have fallen into that camp in the past. So right now I'm trying to just, go with the flow and sew when I can, and just enjoy the moments that I can get. But I have been able to hem this huge big ruffle this morning, so it's another step in the right direction. I've now finished the dress. Unfortunately I wasn't able to film the sort of last stages of me finishing it because I ended up doing it sort of right up to the wire, finishing it the day before our party. Just because life happened, sort of a few things came up that meant I didn't get the time I thought I would to finish it. But that's okay, we got there in the end. Just meant I didn't have time to faff about with like filming it. I just had to crack on and get it done. So I would have liked to have shown you like the kind of start to finish like full process, but the main reason I wanted to share this video was to sort of show a bit of the reality of like sewing around kids and around other commitments. I have a part-time job, sort of 3 days a week, and on the days that I work they're pretty full on, so I don't really get a lot of sewing time. So I tend to sew like at the weekends and if I've got the energy in the evenings. But I just kind of wanted to share that it is still possible, but it just might not be as much as you might want to, which is my problem. I get like super motivated and super enthusiastic. I want to sew every minute of every day, but unfortunately I have other responsibilities. So, but I still carve out time where I can and really try and get some sewing done. And making stuff for my girls is just so special. So yeah, I just thought I'd quickly show you the finished dress. It turned out so nice. I just absolutely love this fabric, and she really loved it as well, which was the main thing. She was like twirling about in it at our party, which was just lovely. If you've enjoyed listening to me rambling on about fitting in sewing with motherhood and the job and husband and dog and everything else that I have going on in my life, then I'd love it if you could subscribe and sort of keep watching. I just love being able to chat about sewing and share some more of my projects. I have also got some ideas for some more patterns coming out for autumn winter, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.